coming. Hello and welcome to Wakefield Trinity for the second of our live inter-services match here this afternoon. It is up to the Royal Air Force men against the Royal Navy senior men. Let's look at the tournament so far. Prescott to great run. Whoa, what a run. Yeah. Wow.
Ball goes wide, lovely interchange for the to play, and he is in. Well, they are in for another try.
Oh, but it's in Army hands. And that is a run and a half by our previous try scorer, number 7, under the post. The Royal Navy men then already with a win against the Army in the first week of competition. The Royal Air Force then lost to the British Army last week. There's lots of maths involved in how the RAF or the Army could win this tournament, but really it's simple. If the Royal Navy win or draw, then they are again inter-services champions. I spoke to both head coaches earlier today. Okay, so joined by the two head coaches, Dan Bamford and Gary Dunn. Friends for the minute, obviously it's all to play for here today. Darren, I want to come to you first. Royal Navy are reigning champions. So what position are you into? What have you said to the lads ahead of this match?
It's just another game at the end of the day. We prepared well. We've been together for 3 weeks and we've been together and the lads are gelling really well. They're all getting on, and like I said to them yesterday when I spoke to them, tomorrow's just another day, and it's another day where you and your mates and you're playing a game that you all love. And at the end of the day, yeah, it should be a good game tonight.
And Danny, you've had to possibly wipe memory from last week. Is there a lot you can take from last week? A lot you've learned from last week against the Army to bring up against the Royal Navy here?
I think you learn from every game you play. I think the lads learn from every game they play. You analyse what went right, what went wrong, and then you try and put it right in the week training. We've had a few bruised bodies this week after last week's game, and looking after the health of the lads and trying to turn that round has been a priority. Training at the end of the week has been real good.
I don't want to go into the maths involved in trying to figure out how the RAF or the Army could win. I mean, Darren, really it's simple for the Royal Navy, win or draw, and you've won the inter-services, but it's not always that simple on the pitch, is it?
No, it's not always that simple. Inter-services rugby is different every year. It's one-off games, and at the end of the day we don't want to draw, we want to win. And in my eyes, you only win inter-services when you beat both teams, and that's exactly what you want to do tonight.
I said I wasn't going to talk about the math, Dunny, but you need quite a big score and quite a big margin to stand any chance. So you know the boys have got it, and I'm sure you've just instilled that belief in them.
Yeah, we've not spoke about the margin of victory. That doesn't even come into account until we've won the game. So we need to go and win the game first, and then if we can at the end, then we'll try and put a score on. But as he's just said, inter-service rugby is tough, and you don't know what you're going to get until you get on the field. But winning's a priority. If we can win by enough to win the inter-service outright, that'd be great.
And basically, let's face it, it's been a really great tournament. You've got 3 teams that are fairly evenly matched.
Yeah, and it's the same every year, and since I've been involved, it's always been that way. It's, in my opinion, the best sport and the best inter-service competition that there is. I think before you go into every year, you can't pick who's going to win it. Obviously, these boys, having won last year, are probably the favourites, but I'd back us.
And Darren, finally, are you inspired by a great Royal? I know that they lost against Royal Air Force women, but we've had a great day here and also your development team obviously won as well. So, have you been inspired by that, and just generally by the stadium and by the venue and by the weather as well?
Yeah, it's always a great occasion to come back up north and play the game up here. For one, all the families can come as well. They can spend time with the lads and actually watch a great game of rugby league, and what we've seen today as well with our development team. We're in a good place with young talent coming through, and the women, they're going from strength to strength. I think it's the most numbers we've had for years with the women, so yeah, it's good, it's really good, and hopefully we can finish on a high tonight as well.
Well guys, friends for now, hopefully you'll still be friends after the match, and thanks very much for talking to us.
No, thanks.
Cheers, thank you.
Cheers.
We've really enjoyed bringing you live coverage from all the inter-services matches this year in the women's competition and the senior men's competition. It's now my turn to hand over to our commentary team for this final match, John Knighton and Damien Clayton.
Well, thanks very much indeed, Kath, and a warm welcome back to Bellevue here for what promises to be a cracking evening of rugby league. And if you were with us earlier on, I hope that you were here to enjoy probably one of the best women's rugby league teams matches that we've seen, certainly between the RAF and the Royal Navy, that we've ever seen in Inter-Services Rugby League. A terrific performance from both the teams, with, of course, the Royal Navy just failing, the RAF winning by 24 points to 14. I'm joined, and it's always a great pleasure to have alongside me Mr. Rugby League himself from the Royal Air Force and from the military, many would say, Damien Clayton. Damien, great to have you alongside once again.
Thanks, John. Yep.
And we're looking forward to a cracking match tonight, aren't we? Between two teams who've got so much to play for.
Absolutely, it's all to play for now. This last game, and if the Royal Air Force get the win, then by enough points, then they've won the championship. It bodes well for a fantastic game tonight.
It certainly does, and in fact, maybe we could just go through those permutations, because you've hit the nail on the head. The RAF have got to win by 21 points, which is a tall order by any standards at this level of the game. But there are other permutations as well tonight, aren't there?
There certainly are, yeah. So if the Royal Navy win, they win the comp outright. If they draw or lose by less than 16 points, they're going to be champions as well. If
it's a 16 points win for the Royal Air Force tonight, then the Navy and the Army then tie the championship.
That's correct.
If it then goes to 17 points win, 18 or 19, then the Army will be outright champions. And if it goes to 20, the RAF and the Royal Navy will the Army and the RAF will share the championship.
Title, yeah.
But if it goes to 21, then it's an RAF victory. And if you understood that, your maths is as bad as mine. But a terrific evening ahead, and there's again so much to play for. We've seen some cracking games already in the inter-services, not least at St Helens last week.
Yeah, no, that was a great game. I thought the Army deservedly won the game in the end, but the first half, I thought the Royal Air Force were quite dominant. But fair play to the Army, of which they did against the Royal Navy. They came back in the second half, So both the Royal Air Force and the Army have struggled to get off to a decent start. They've capitulated in the second half, to be honest. So we'll have to see what's what.
We will indeed. And in fact, the Navy are obviously still talking about that opening game, that opening half against the Army when they scored 6 tries.
26-0 half-time.
It was probably the best performance from a Royal Navy Rugby League team ever, if half by half basis.
Yeah, I was speaking to the coach there just about half an hour ago, and they didn't kick many goals in that first half either. They were 26-0 up at half-time. But for the Army to win the second half 18-4, it's a great competition, John.
It is, yeah, and it gets better and better. And you know what? To be playing here at this wonderful old stadium. I mean, Bellevue's been around. Well, I think, in fact, the club has been here since 1873, so 150 years.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is, and some parts of the ground still look as if it's like 150 years old, to be honest. But the new stadium, the new stand across, what we're looking at, it's going to be fantastic when it opens, and the pitch has had a lot of investment as well, and I think that the teams will benefit from that.
Yeah. A great pitch, absolutely great pitch, and a new stand that's being built. And in fact, we did see earlier on in the women's game that some of the penalties to avoid the ball being kicked into the stand, 10 metres was awarded, wasn't it, by the referee?
Yeah, that's standard operating procedures at a lot of places now.
Yeah, well, of course, you know all about the standard operating procedures in your role as CEO of UCAF Rugby League, and you're not much longer for the RAF, are you? So I know you're hopefully going into civilian rugby league, and carrying on making a contribution.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I put in my early termination while I was down the Falklands actually recently. I've got an offer on the table from Halifax Panthers Rugby League Football Club to take over as their chief executive officer, which is very exciting, and still involved in professional sports. So it's
and I'm sure the military are going to benefit from that as well, Damien, because they always have done. And as long as the game is played, and it's played up here in the north of England, I mean, so many of the players obviously are involved. Teams coming out onto the field then, we're going to be welcoming them now. Led by the match officials this evening. Steve Race from the Rugby Football League is the referee tonight, with Dan Walker and Pete Smith, who are his assistants. Pete's actually, this is his third match today.
Yeah, he's getting a good workout, isn't he? Yeah.
He's 38 years old. He's about the fittest man in rugby league, isn't he?
He loves it, does Pete. And, you know, to have them do the touch, the armed forces lads, it's developing them as well. So, but this is, you know, this is the highest level for inter-service sport in rugby league. So it's, you know, to have them officiating as well, that's a bonus.
And look at all these children as well, who are there as the mascots, escorting the players out onto the field. The two captains this evening, well, you've got Liam Bradley for the RAF, wearing number 6 tonight, and of course you've got Ben Taylor.
Two great players there, John.
Two great players.
We took them down to the World Cup down in 2017. Taylor was the captain, actually. Led the team well down there. Stalwart of Navy Rugby League.
Yeah, he certainly is, and the Yorkshire Prose as well. Some of his poems just legendary, aren't they?
Yeah. Should get him up here if he has a bad first half.
Well, actually, the Navy Sports Awards last year, of course, the Royal Navy were the Navy Team of the Year.
Yeah.
He actually composed a special poem.
Did he?
Oh yeah. Was
it well received?
It was terrific. No, it was broadcastable. Put it like that. So that's terrific. But all the dignitaries coming out then to be received by everybody. You probably recognise some of the people coming out there onto the field, Damo, who are being introduced now to the players.
Yeah, so the president of the Royal Air Force Rugby League, Air Vice Marshal Al Marshall.
Oh, that's right. Yes, of course. Yeah.
and the chairman of Royal Navy Rugby League is new in post this year, I believe, and Sean Heaton.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Mayor of Wakefield as well.
Yeah, I was talking to Sean actually earlier, and you know, really proud of the Navy women tonight. We really feel possibly that Navy Rugby League and possibly Inter-Services Rugby League has come of age this season. The Army have obviously been so dominant over the past 14 years, never lost a game, and that's continued this year. But the quality of the game that we saw earlier suggests that these two teams will be knocking on the door if they continue to improve.
No, I totally agree, and I think it's a reflection of the participation rates of now in women's rugby league across the services. Great second half by both teams there in the women's game, and you know, the Royal Air Force, I was pleased they got the win, not just because I'm in the Royal Air Force, but they haven't got a win for a long time as well. So
yeah. It is amazing though, isn't it? Just looking at this now, the setup here, you know, here tonight in Wakefield. You know, it ain't that long ago that, you know, you were playing down at Doncaster, were you? The RAF Blue Bombers. Do you remember those days? The good old days, bad old days.
No, they were great days, John. They were great days.
But that's where it all started, and of course Acts of Parliament to get rugby league officially accepted as a sport in the military. You know, it seems like a long time ago, but in many ways it just seems like yesterday.
Well, it's 30 years ago, and some people, you know, I speak to a lot of civilians, and they think it's been played in the armed forces for years and years and years, and when I tell them the tale, and I'm like a broken record with it, the realisation that actually only 30 years ago we couldn't play our sports in the armed forces.
Officially, yeah. Well, at all, yeah.
Well, not at all. I mean, the Royal Air Force, it's, you know, can we play here, sir? You will not play that sport on this camp.
Yeah, well,
as brutal as that.
Those days
are long gone.
And so say all of us. Fantastic, it's really good. And I noticed that director of RAF Sport is here tonight to watch, and that says it all as well. Rich Fogden, who I'll probably be playing tennis with tomorrow down in Wendover, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is, and this is absolutely right that this game is developing all the time, and I think we're expecting a cracking match tonight.
Yeah, they're going to rip in from the off. I'm looking forward to this.
Well, we'll have the national anthem very, very shortly, of course, and then we'll take you through the two teams who are taking to the field. A lot of waiting around, of course, but the Band of Brothers, the Royal Navy, and a great collection, of course, of Royal Air Force players as well, all now gathering together for the national anthem.
Please stand if you are able to for the national anthem.
being sung by at least one person we heard there, Damien. You know, fantastic. So let's take you through the team, shall we? We'll start with the Royal Navy, obviously the visitors here tonight in their huddle at the moment. And, well, it's quite a lineup for them. Ben Chambers, Danny Dainty, Joey Sugden, Gavin Duffy, Keeney Dakuliga and Matty Gaskell, Reece Joel, James Tuxiera, James Tilley, Dave Brown, Brodie Butler, vice-captain, with Charlie Mattison and Ben Taylor. Now, it means really that lineup means that coach Daz Bamford only had to make one real change to his side. Rocco, who played in the opening game, he actually played for the development side earlier on today. So coming in for him is Joey Sugden into that number 3 role. So that's them. As far as the RAF are concerned, quickly run through the team as the players are about to kick off with Kieran Prescott, Nick Slaney, Adam Potter, Lamont, Will Lamont, James Peach, Liam Bradley the captain, Khan Lees, Steve Kilner, Ewan Mackinson, Connor Morris, Nath Barker, Tyler Richardson and Sam Roberts.
He's a good carry, that big collision.
So straight away, marks are being made on that pitch.
Absolutely, that was a big, strong carry, but the good defensive collision, but he's got himself in the wrong place there, and it did go down.
Some crucial players, obviously, in both sides, Damo, certainly for the Navy. You know, looking at James Tilley, the number 9 for the Navy. He had a remarkable game against the Army in that first half, completely bossed the match, and he'll be looking to do, I'm sure, the same tonight. And some crucial players, obviously, for the Air Force. And already Connor Morris is having to leave the field. That was one heck of a hit, wasn't it? So already a replacement having to come on, an interchange having to come on for Connor.
Well, I think he might have gone off of the HIA there, I'm not too sure.
Well, hopefully he'll be back on, assuming everything is passed okay. But the Navy straight away then coming into this. Charlie Mattison. Here's Tilley immediately. And Ben Taylor brought to ground, takes 3 to bring him to ground. Tilley again. Ben Chambers, of course, got a hat-trick for the Navy in that opening game. In their 7 tries that they scored against the Army, 6 in the first half, as we said. But the Air Force keen to get themselves into this match really quickly. That's another great hit there from Gavin Duffy. Referee, though, is taking it back.
That'll look offside for me.
There's Bradley, the captain. Nice play from Kilner.
Yeah, strong defence as well.
Yeah.
Brodie Butler.
There's Roberts.
He's found his front there, good.
One of the 2 Roberts players in the side. And Nath Barker.
Yeah, good set.
Yeah, it's a good set of 6. This is the last one, the last tackle.
The reset now, back-to-back sets. Another set for the Royal Air Force.
So obviously they were offside the Navy.
One is ripped there.
And that's been put forward. Well.
Yeah, so the set before there was an infringement. They played the ball. The referee gave a set restart, and then they turned the ball over in the first tackle. They need to do better than that.
So the first scrum down then in this match. The Navy will have the put-in with Joel with a put-in. A crunching tackle going in.
Up here.
You felt it, didn't you? There's Tilley. There's going to be no quarter given in this game tonight, I can promise you. Both of these teams, as you would have heard in the introductory interviews with the 2 coaches, really going for it tonight. But as it stands, if the match finishes a draw, the Navy would be inter-services champions and they would claim the title again, which for them would be a terrific achievement, of course. Last year, their first title in 5 years. Got the chance then of the penalty to really make some ground, but I don't think that kind of went the way he wanted it to go at all.
Still a mid-touch, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Line speeds be good here from the Royal Air Force. Needs to get off the line, put some pressure on.
Kenny Dagaliga is just over there on the touchline. They're waiting for a ball to come back. I think we need a new one. Not quite sure what's happened to the one that's gone down beneath our coverage position here. There's Matty Gaskell. Ball goes loose, and the referee says that was an infringement. So another penalty to... And are they going to go for goal? No, I don't think so. They're going to take this set of 6 with Dave Brown.
Yeah.
And... Well...
Sorry.
Explain that one, Damien.
Yes, so he's just said that the referee's called that as that he's just lost possession in the tackle when he was getting up. And it's an area of the game what needs tidying up, to be honest. We've seen 2 instances now in the opening 5 minutes where around that ruck we've struggled a little bit.
Well, the scrum down then, and the RAF will have a put in with their captain, Liam Bradley, rather. And straight away the big number 12, Tyler Richardson, looks the real deal, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a big, strong boy. That's a
cruncher of a tackle. Once again coming in from James Tilley there. Yeah. Barker did well there, just sort of pushing off the challenge. And here's...
Oh, good football.
Bradley.
Bradley's in. Oh.
Great work. Oh, and Bradley drops it there, taking in the 1-2 from James Peach. But the ball is still loose, and eventually it goes out. But danger there for the Navy. Great work from the RAF there.
Yeah, they've signalled their intent there to play some football down this short side. That was good. Just struggled with taking that last pass, did Liam.
I mean, they certainly had their moments against the Army, didn't they, last week? You know.
Yeah, I thought they played well.
Plateau Heath. Navy then with the put in for the scrum, clearing their lines. Very different opening to the game that we saw 2 weeks ago in Portsmouth for the Navy, who I think had already scored 2 tries by this time in the game. But Gaz done a great job with his coaching team, really preparing his boys well for this. Daz Bamford, of course, they've had a week's break of the Navy players. Sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it isn't.
Yeah, you can never tell, can you? You can never tell. It's what pictures up on the day. That's a good, strong defensive set by the Royal Air Force, making the Royal Navy kick out of yardage now, so they should get the ball in a decent position. Oh,
but offside? No. Well, was it not the knock on? Yeah.
No, I think it's a bit of talking back to the referee there, a bit of ill discipline. He's stopping the clock, he's got away with the skipper.
Yeah. Well, the touch judge, Pete Smith, is coming on there. There's a bit of a discussion going on, and words are being said here.
The emotion's running high, John.
Yeah, it is. There'll be no messing around there. Words being had with Dave Brown. And also a penalty then to the RAF. And Carnleys is going over there. They've taken the tap, haven't they? They've taken the 10 metres with Richardson. Absolutely no quarter given by either of these teams yet, and we're into the 7th or 8th minute of this first half already. Just joining us tonight, you're more than welcome here on Forces News. An opportunity for the RAF that are going to go through for the try, and it is Will Lamont on his debut for the RAF has scored the try to put the Air Force ahead in these early minutes of the game, and they have looked the most dangerous of the two teams so far.
Yeah, that's the second time they've exploited the left edge of the Royal Navy. But if you watch that back again, you've got Prescott coming out the back. And the pass, the Royal Navy would have been looking for the pass to Prescott, but they haven't. It was a flat ball to the centre there, and he scored. So, because Prescott is such a threat, the Royal Navy will have, Dan and Bamford have got them looking at Prescott all the time. So there's a decision to be made now, because the Royal Air Force are aware of that. So that was good football.
Well, great football from the Air Force. They have a 4-0 lead and an opportunity to add the extras with Cairn Lees, who's on kicking duty for them at the moment. And his kick is... oh, hits the post. That's so unlucky. That was a great effort. And remember, wherever you are around the Forces world, we'd love to hear from you this evening. Let us know where you are. Jen at Hemsworth Dragons, youth and junior page, and Kingo Al says, "Come on, the Navy," and so you keep those messages coming through to us on Facebook and, of course, on our YouTube channel. But an early lead for the Air Force here by 4 points to 0. It was a really well taken try from Will Lamont. Great work from the Air Force.
They were fortunate there, lack of communication, John, down that side. They nearly turned the ball over on the first tackle there, so they're quite fortunate. Gone backwards. Oh, he's given knock on. Good pressure.
So, great pressure from the Navy. So let's see what the Navy can do here in reply. Both teams making a few mistakes early doors.
Yeah, I'm going to do a completion. The Royal Air Force are probably 50% at the moment, and the Royal Navy up at 60%, but they need to get that completion rate higher. Settle down.
And here they go then with the opportunity. Here's Ben Chambers, the fullback, hat-trick man against the Army a couple of weeks ago. He promised me he'd get another hat-trick tonight, but I'm not quite sure whether that will happen. Charging through from Charlie Mattison. And
time off, injured.
He's taken an injury, so
the Air Force need to get organised now in defence, take the opportunity. They've got a break in play, get the defensive line organised.
But this is still a good opportunity for the Royal Navy here to get themselves straight back into the match, trailing 4-0.
I'm just looking for Chambers now. He'll be quite a bit of a target indicator for the Royal Air Force. Look where he is. He's hanging over that right edge there. I would expect him to get involved in this play.
It's just a shame that the stand on the far side from where we are, Damo's not completed tonight. It looks very picturesque. It looks like there's loads of people in it.
Well, that's it. I think that's why Wakefield did it, to be fair.
Well, you can get away with that. I can't. But no, good to see, great to see this club, you know, on the rise again and putting the investment in. So, what can the Royal Navy do here? Trailing by 4 points to 0. Ball goes out wide onto that right-hand side. The charge through from Gavin Duffy, who was so prominent a couple of weeks ago. Here they come again to the Navy. Tilley and Duffy as he crossed the line. No, he's held up at the moment. Here's Tilley again, and Tilley will drive for that position. No,
Hand over.
it's been held up. So
it's not a bad place to turn the ball over though, John. You know, one metre from the Royal Air Force line. So I would imagine now they're very aggressive in defence, get some line speed, the Royal Navy, and try and complete a full set in their 20.
he's so strong, is Tilly.
Well, it doesn't look like the archetypical hooker, does it?
No,
he's a big lad.
No, he's a big lad. Actually, just said hello to him in the changing room tonight. He's huge, actually, but he's so powerful. He scored a really powerful try against the Army a couple of weeks ago, and his overall contribution was remarkable. Though I think,
he's off.
This is a great run again, and that's
he's a threat.
Yeah.
Is Prescott? He's a big.
He really
threat.
is.
Oh, come on. That's lacking discipline there from the Royal Navy. They've just actually released the pressure now. The Royal Air Force will kick out of here, and their first play will be in good ball.
Yeah, Kieran Prescott wearing 25 at fullback, and they'll make some good ground to cross over into opposition territory. Lamont, scorer of the try on his debut, charging through is Steve Kilner, making his last appearance for the RAF this evening. Bit of a shame, that is, because he's been such a great servant, isn't he, to RAF?
He's strong. I've been impressed by him in the middle there. He's good.
Mackinson. Again, the RAF threatening, this time down on the left-hand side of the field. The fend off from Adam Potter. Navy being forced back. Here they come again. That's Adam Middleton, who has come on as the replacement, as the interchange, with Connor Morris having to leave the field. Still being checked after that early injury, but great challenging from the Air Force again.
Force a knock on.
And they've,
so that's twice now, one each for both sides,
and you
turning the ball over in their own 20.
Yeah, you can see Ben Taylor as well, urging on his players, saying we can't afford mistakes like that. And a real opportunity for the Air Force here to increase their lead.
Seems to be quite a lot of chat going on out there as well with the match official. Hopefully he can stay strong, and he's the man in the middle and man in charge, and not be influenced. Not that they ever are.
Well, the scrum then, with the Navy having to defend here. The RAF with a real opportunity with Lees. Ball goes out wide onto the right-hand side here, but fullback Prescott has to tidy up the damage onto the 20-metre line.
They just need to settle down and play this set out, John, and keep the pressure on and hopefully get a repeat set if they don't, so they don't have to score with every set.
But they really are threatening here with Sam Roberts. Navy having to hold their line here. It's nice work though from the Air Force. Looking good. Running out of tackles though. Driving through is Roberts once more.
What can we do?
Within a tantalising distance of that line. Oh, he's knocked it on.
Oh, that's a terrible ball.
Yeah. So Bradley, really not a lot he could do about that, was there?
No, not at all. No, it's that discipline, whether or not you just need to go a hand, dribble it behind the line, get a repeat set.
Should point out earlier on that there was a win this afternoon for the Royal Navy Academy team against the Air Force by 30 points to 10. A really good performance from them. They played some lovely stuff.
Oh, it's getting feisty now.
It is getting feisty. God. This is getting tough, which is what we expected. No quarter given. Good tackling again. Great defensive work from the Air Force, keeping the Navy inside their own half.
Strong carry, strong defence, great stuff. This is rugby league, John.
It is. It's good. It is. This is military rugby league at its very best. Good. On the sixth tackle, Chambers makes the kick forward, but it's collected then by the Air Force. Chambers again makes the tackle. The referee...
They need to get back in shape now that the Air Force is still walking back.
Here's Prescott. Great run from him. Brilliant ground he's made.
Quality player. Quality, very elusive. No!
Well, oh look, there's a little bit of a argy-bargy going on there, and I wouldn't mess with Ben Taylor. He's a big lad.
He needs to stick to writing his poems.
Well, Liam Bradley just having I think the two captains just sort of coming together then.
It's great stuff. They all play together. The better players at UCAF as well, so they know each other very well. But this is inter-services. It's no holds barred.
They don't like each other for 80 minutes, do they? Great charge through from Gavin Duffy. Feels he's being held down. Here's Tilley.
Oh, good shot.
Matteson still got the ball, still
well,
driving it through.
Found his front as well.
What can the Navy do here? Chambers goes out wide onto the right.
Good football.
It's good quality stuff. It really is. Anyone who's watching who loves rugby league will know that. And once more, Gavin Duffy charging his way through. Well, whoops. Now then.
It's just on the verge of boiling over.
It is,
They just need to get some composure.
And we don't want to see any fisticuffs or argy-bargy particularly. Just get on with the game of rugby.
Saying that, John, last week playing Vets, I nearly had a dust up.
Well, there's no video evidence, of course, so we can't prove what you say either way.
It wouldn't have lasted long anyway.
But a real opportunity for the Royal Navy here. Conversation just being had with Nick Slaney, the referee. Steve Race.
He's got his hands full, hasn't he?
He certainly has. I think he realised that before even the start. I did actually hear a conversation between the two captains. Oh, and there's a... Is he over? No, not quite. But they're really asking the questions at the moment of the Navy. The ball goes out onto this left-hand side, but great tackling again from great defensive work from the Air Force. Here they go again. This is lovely stuff. And here's Ben Chambers, the fullback.
Oh,
he's taken out.
Good defence.
It was, again, the defensive work from the RAF was terrific. Just no way through in the end for the fullback. But the Navy switching it from right to left, left to right. And they're really knocking on the door here. They still trail by 4 points to 0, remember. And we're halfway through this first half already. It's gone so quickly. Tony Lee Watson saying Hemsworth Dragons, ARL, youth and junior page, love it. I'm sure they do. King Goal says, hope the whole KR versus Lee Leopards is as good as this game later on. So do we. We've already had a cracking game to enjoy this afternoon with the women. And they really set the bar very high here.
Play the ball, play the ball. It looks like it's as if it's getting a bit greasy out there now. There's quite a few players slipping.
Yeah, Nath Baker going through. Here goes Mackinson. On the halfway line. On the sixth tackle, Captain Bradley kicks it through. Ben Chambers picks it up. I spent a bit of time with Ben and obviously the UCAF Rugby Union boys out there at the Defence World Cup out in Brittany. Ben had a terrific tournament out there. But within just a few days back playing rugby league for the Navy.
All right.
He did actually tell me last week that he was really pleased because both his kids got chicken pox, so I think it was a good way of staying out of the way, shall we say. Hopefully they're recovered now. Good evening to Andy Smales, who's watching.
Oh, good evening, Smales.
Yeah, that 6th tackle is cleared, so here come the RAF trying to make some ground, but great defensive work for the Navy again, stopping them in their tracks. Peach takes 3 to bring him down.
Play.
Navy still going, unfortunately for Nath Barker, they're just losing his footing. I think you're quite right, actually, Damo. I think there is a bit of a September dew creeping in. I mean, let's face it, we're right at the end of September. We're nearly into October. This unseasonal Indian summer that we're having to make up for the summer that we never had. Up and under goes up, collected by Chambers, and he'll jink his way across the field, but brilliantly tackled by Nick Slaney. There's Kinney. Absolutely relentless pace to this game.
It is. I was just thinking that they're starting to win the ruck, the Royal Navy. They're playing the ball quite quickly, which is catching the Air Force defence still going back.
That's nice play from Rhys Joel there. Not that he's been able to use his kicking abilities yet. And up and under. Oh, and it's not forward. And Ben Chambers picks it up, and surely he's going to go for the line and score the try. And he does. The fullback was there first. Ben Chambers equalises at 4 points each for the Royal Navy. Well, it was a greasy ball, I think.
Yeah, it is a great kick, actually, to be fair. It's just one of those, if he takes the ball, it's no problem. Turn the possession over to the Royal Air Force, but fair play, he pushed through on the kick. He was there when he knocked on, and easy score in the end, wasn't it?
Well, it's just what the Navy needed. It looks very kickable, obviously, the conversion here to give them potentially a 6-4 lead, and it's Chambers himself who's going to take the kick. Just wonder whether there might be a little injury to Rhys Joel, who will normally do the kicking duties for the Navy. But very kickable this, which could give the Navy the lead, having fallen behind to a terrific try from Will Lamont. So Chambers, oh, well, that's the second time the post has been hit.
Wow, that could be costly.
Well, it's the second time the post has been hit from an attempt at a conversion. And that shocked everyone. I mean, that was about as near as you're going to get to 2 points for nothing, isn't it?
It certainly was.
So that means the scores are level at 4 points apiece here at Bellevue. Nicely collected, though, by the Navy, and Ben Taylor will bring it forward. I think you and I remember those great scenes, don't we, last year at Oddsall when the Navy claimed that title for the first time in 5 years. It meant so much to them.
Yeah, and Bamford knocked the goal over from the touchline as well.
He did. Yeah. What a way to finish your playing career. And of course, he's gone into coaching. He's taken to it like a duck to water, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Really,
A very good player, good rugby knowledge as well.
Yeah, another slip on this pitch, on this slippery surface. Beautiful pitch there. Had a bit of a walk on it earlier. It's just the most glorious playing surface There's nothing better, is there, than a great...
No, it's like a hybrid though, isn't it? It's like synthetic and natural grass as well.
Brody Butler holds on to it for too long. The referee says that will be a scrum to the Royal Air Force. Well, it really couldn't be closer here. 4-4 as we approach half an hour's play in this final inter-services game of 2023. It's been a terrific series so far. We've had 6 great games so far, which hopefully that you've been enjoying here on Forces News YouTube and Facebook, wherever you are around the world this evening. Great to have you along with us. And the Forces Sport just carries on coming here on BFBS, I can tell you. Next week, we've got the Football Games of Remembrance down in Aldershot for UCAF, playing the Bundeswehr, both the women and the men. That's next Thursday. We'll be there in Aldershot for those. And into October, November, and right through, really, until just before Christmas. Masses of military sport coming your way.
Oh, it's a good carry that from Richardson. I actually gave him a bit of pain last week for not getting involved, but he's had about 5 or 6 carries already today.
I think that he's actually watched the highlights and maybe heard your comments. Did you get any grief over it?
No, Gary Dunn was cheering me on, to be fair.
So once again, the Air Force are knocking on the door here. That's lovely work from Prescott there, jinking his way to the 30-metre line. Kick goes up from Lees, and he's put off. Is the Navy player? And it was a knock on.
Air Force there. Hand over.
Yeah. Been some terrific rugby league this year, though, Dame, hasn't there? You know, Indian Super League and the Challenge Cup or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I mentioned I'm involved with Halifax in the Championship, and coming to the last game of the year, we didn't know who was going to be in the top 6, who was going down. It's so competitive, and Super League's been the same. You know, that last game, Wigan ended up winning, but they're getting the minor Premiership.
And in the Women's Super League as well, you know, we've got some of our Army players as well, and military players are doing so well.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about a great friend of mine, Carrie Roberts, earlier on, who has been absolutely magnificent for York Valkyrie this year.
Well, they're in the final.
They are, and here's a chance then for the Navy. Lovely 1-2, and the man who's going through, shortly to score, is Rhys Joel. Brought to ground, though. Real opportunity then for the Navy. Can they make the most of this and turn this into a try? Brilliant breakthrough for them from Matty Gaskell, and the ball goes wide. That is a try. And the Navy are in for their second try of the game. And that was terrific work from them. They really worked hard on that. It was a brilliant break forward, really on this left-hand side. They worked their way through. Great work, say, from Rhys Joel. I thought he was going to make the line there, but very quickly the ball out of possession, out of play. Lovely work again. The ball goes wide onto that right-hand side. And the man who goes over, I think it was James. Was it James Tilley? No, it wasn't James Tilley. No, difficult to tell with the numbers. I think it was Dave Brown, the number 10. But we'll get that confirmed. But it was a brilliant play from the Navy to give them the lead by, well, 8 points to 4.
Yeah, the Navy played well there, coming down the Air Force's right edge. A missed tackle from, I think it was Will Lamont. It just...
Chambers with the kick. And it is good. Great kick from Ben Chambers, which puts the Navy into double figures.
Just goes to show that if you're not making your one-up tackles, or the consequences of that.
Well, it's been so close and tight, hasn't it?
I think these last 5 minutes, though, the Navy seem to be getting the wins on the floor and getting the impetus moving forward.
I mean, Ben Chambers, that was a tremendous conversion kick there from wide on the right-hand side.
And they missed one in front of 6.
Well, yeah, I think he was a bit complacent, wasn't he? I think it must be. But the Banda brothers have the leads. They've come from behind here to lead by 10 points to 4. But it's been so tight and so competitive. Once again, the drive from Ben Taylor, but brought to ground by a combination.
We're struggling there, is Ben.
This is James Roberts is on now, number 17, been interchange already, so 2 Roberts is on. Sam, 13, James, 17. Great work again from the Navy, and this is a lovely run through. Oh, but his pass just goes astray, and the RAF have it now with Will Lamont, scorer of that opening try for the Air Force.
Another set restart there as well.
Roberts with the powerful play. Here's Morris. Looking for a way through is Nath Barker.
Play.
Sam Roberts this time. Prescott, or rather Lamont. High kick comes up from the captain, from Bradley, who's underneath it. It's an RAF, and it's going to be a try in that corner, and it is a try in the corner, is it? They think it is. The referee is looking, and says, yes, he is. It's a try, and it's Nick Slaney who's gone in. Well, you've got to say, yeah, Slaney with a try, and I think it's deserved. I really do. Which brings them back to 10-8. Again, it's come from a high kick from the sixth tackle.
Yeah.
That's the second time we've seen that tonight.
That's right, yeah. So brilliant response then from the Air Force. This is they needed that, John. They needed that. I felt the Royal Navy were getting on top there. So a great response. But they're starting to complete high. I'll go through that at half time or start the second half. But as long as they box off the sets and make the Navy defend, then we'll see what the last 20 minutes brings.
Well, this is turning into a classic already. I hope that you're enjoying it at home or wherever you're watching, because these are two totally committed teams. The conversion attempt comes in, and it is good. It's another brilliant conversion. Well, you can't take your eyes off this, can you? Really excellent. To level it at 10 points all. And it was a great conversion from Khan Lees there. So a thoroughly enjoyable first half here. Got about 5 minutes to go, according to our clock. There've only been just a couple of stoppages so far. I think we knew it was going to be competitive, but my goodness me, it's like sort of tit for tat, isn't it, at the moment? Anything you can do, we can do too.
Edge of your seats type stuff, there's
plenty of time, obviously, still in this first half for one side to take the lead, but they're locked together at 10 each at the moment. Captain Bradley, who's at the centre of everything for the RAF tonight. Great challenge again. James Roberts really making an impact since he came on. No, it was a forward pass, was it?
No, he's knocked it on.
He knocked it on, yeah. Bit of relief for the Navy. Sean Griffin says, come on the Air Force at Craven Park, trying to get a beer before slaying the Leopards. So we've even got people over in Hull watching the match tonight, over at on the east side of the city of Hull.
He used to play, did Sean?
He did, yeah.
He played out in Bruggen and for the Royal Air Force Blue Bombers.
Indeed. Well, good to hear from you tonight, Sean. One of my old stamping grounds back in my days at Radio Humberside. Craven Park one week, the Boulevard the next. That was back in the day. Just a crunching tackle again on the Navy's number 10, Dave Brown there. He's done well.
Liam Bradley struggling here.
Here's Chambers. Nice little reverse pass then into Gavin Duffy. Navy knocking on the door once more with some lovely crisp passing here. Some great football they're playing. In fact, both teams are. But nothing between them. 10 each as we go into these final moments. The kick forward, picked up by the Air Force on that far side.
That's a great set. They've turned the ball over there on the Royal Air Force line, making them having to work for 100 metres here.
The strength and fitness of both of these teams really coming to the fore.
There'll be some whack now. Oh, good shot, Ben Taylor.
This will be quite close to home. I think this is Ben's hometown,
It
isn't
is,
it? Wakefield,
yeah. He's a Wakefield.
He's a Wakefield boy. Yeah. No doubt he'll be up on Ilkley Moor tomorrow. Air Force then with the kick forward from Bradley. And it'll be the Navy's turn to try and make some ground as they approach the halfway line. Chambers again. He's just full of running, he's still going.
Yeah, he's having a good game, isn't he? He's getting involved a lot.
He hasn't stopped running. I think he ran all the way home from Brittany, to be honest. He's just not stopped running at all. And here's Dakavalea. Duffy running through, or rather, it's
Brodie Lee Butler.
Brodie Butler, the vice captain.
Deceivingly strong, that young man.
He is. Again, he had a terrific game against the Army as well. Was at the centre of absolutely everything that night. Lovely kick again, but it's going to be collected well by James Peach. Goes out onto the dead ball.
Nearly all over, isn't it?
Yep. Well, we are very close then to half-time here, and these two teams absolutely locked together at 10 points each in what has been a pulsating first half here. And if you get anything like as good rugby league at Craven Park tonight, then you'll be very, very lucky.
Oh, good carry.
Here's Ben Taylor again. Look at the momentum he's got. Why? Goodness.
He's like a steam train.
Both of these teams so up for it tonight. You could... Again, ball goes wide. Lovely work again from
They need
Butler.
to work now. They need to work hard. The Royal Air Force. That's half time.
And that is half time. Well, it's been a terrific first half here of some of the very best rugby league. Again, such a high standard of game we've seen so far. 10-all. Will Lamont opening the scoring for the RAF after 8 minutes to put them ahead. Then Bain Chambers equalising on 24 for the Navy. The Navy then taking the lead again with a try, we think, from Brown to put them 8-4 ahead, with Chambers kicking the conversion. And then it was a instant reply from Nick Slaney for the RAF to put them back in the game at 10-8, and a brilliant conversion as well from them to put them for their number 7. Actually, it was Khan Lees who got the conversion to bring it to 10-all, but the point scoring is only half the story so far.
It is, John, and just I talked about completion rate there, and it's 10-all at half time. The Royal Navy have completed 11 out of 17 sets, but puts them at 65%. We aim in the game to be completing at 80%, so they need to tidy that up. But adversely, just looking at it, the Royal Air Force have completed 12 out of 18 sets, puts them at 67%, so they're very, very similar. So actually, going in at 10-all is no shock, really, because they're both not completing very high. If one of them can start doing that in the second half, I would expect that team to push on.
Well, I can't wait for the second half to get underway. We've got a few minutes, though, to wait. So let's pick up now, shall we, on some more military sports news, just in case you missed it.
Hi, I'm Richard Johnson. In case you missed it. Sharing the spoils, the Army women and RAF men took the honours at this year's Inter-Services Golf Championships. The Royal Navy made history in April by winning both men's and women's titles together in the delayed 2022 event, but sat out the final day this time following defeats to both the RAF and Army. For the first time since 2012, the tournament was staged at Woodhall Spa, the home of English golf. Meeting a footballing icon. The Royal Navy women's side with former England Lioness Ellen White after being crowned champions at the first ever CSSC Women's Football Festival. 18 teams took part in the Civil Service Sports Council competition at the FA's training ground, St George's Park. After winning the final 4-0, the Navy players got to meet the England women's all-time goal scorer and talk tactics and the opportunities created by Royal Navy football. Next, Army Bowl. The British Army American football team warmed up for the first ever inter-services with a tough match against Bristol Apache. They had been due to kick off against the Royal Navy, but a change of schedule meant they played Bristol instead. The Royal Navy and RAF Mustangs will now play the first ever inter-services game on October the 13th. And the best of both worlds. Army Rugby Union player Private India King is signing with Premiership side Harlequins as a dual-registered player. Private King was a member of the Army squad who won the Inter-Services Championships this year, where she scored a try against the Royal Air Force. Dual registration means she'll be able to play and train with both Harlequins and the Army.
India King with the try.
They've got time and they've got numbers. Lovely ball out wide. Oh, he's brought it right back in.
Interestingly, we've got Borman playing in the centre. We played him at full back in the UCAF.
Okay.
Good player, so I'll see how he goes at centre.
Yeah, this looks pretty slick from the Army at the moment.
Here we go.
Oh, big man over the line.
He scored,
yes.
yeah.
He just stretched out his arm there. Brilliant.
Yeah, play.
So that was Wami Ratubalavu, the powerhouse at number 8. You say Mickey Hall right in front of the post. This is almost a dead cert, 2 points. And so that is 6-0 then to the Army men.
So there's a wake-up call.
Absolutely.
If the Air Force ever needed one.
The RAF then with possibly one of their closest chances so far.
Get down,
Yeah.
let's go. No markers, let's go, he's going to go. Here we go, he's in.
Oh,
yeah,
lovely.
Yeah.
Good score there from the RAF as they look to...
I think it might have been Makinson.
There you go.
I think. Play.
Brilliant.
He's off. There you go.
Really quick ball. Prescott's off again.
Yeah, and that's it. A quick play of the ball gives you the opportunity to get on the front foot while the defensive line's still retreating.
The RAF got numbers here.
He's in.
He's
in.
lovely.
Oh, good football.
Brilliant.
Good shape.
Nick Slaney.
Good.
Absolutely, that was slick.
Yeah, it was slick, but that try again is on the back of a quick play of the ball.
Yep.
Prescott exploiting that, and then Army on the back foot. Good shape. Try time. And that'll be half time.
That's half time. So the score here at Plateau Heath is 8 points to the RAF, to the Army's 6. It is tight, it is close, it's what we were expecting. That was a great D. The Army then with the advantage here. Gifted a set.
Yeah, try time.
And that's over.
Well.
Try for the Army. They're back in front. Yeah, easy as.
No problem.
The Army then back in the lead, as they were at the beginning of the first half, but we know that the RAF can reply with strength.
Kilner found his front.
Brilliant, yeah.
Here we go, 9 will go now, 1 marker in.
Prescott to
Yes,
great run. Whoa, what a run.
Yes.
Wow.
Great football, and that there, if you really looked at that, that was a great carry from Kilner.
Yeah.
Found the floor, quick play the ball, good shape, well organised Royal Air Force team there, and the centre.
Yeah, Prescott to Brad Keegan.
Yeah, it was good shape.
Brilliant.
And I said before the game, I went to watch them play King's Cross in Halifax the week, the Royal Air Force. I thought the shape looked the best I've seen it in a few years. I think Gary Dunn and Hutch there has got the team running well.
And the Army have got, oh no. Oh, it's going to onto the other side of the pitch.
He just needs some runners.
Jake Boardman.
Here we go. Oh. No way.
It's so close and they're in.
Yeah, he's in.
Another one for the Army.
Yeah,
It is to and fro here at Thatcher Heath. And that's over. Great kick from Mickey
That's
Hoyle.
a great kick.
18-14 then. The Army are up. And we are now into the final 15 minutes of this game.
Oh, what a carry. Well done, lad.
What a carry. Running through people. What a powerhouse. Ratibalavu on the run of his life. Absolutely brilliant.
Not bad for a prop forward, that. Reset and they're in. Army's in again.
Wow.
Back-to-back tries.
Aparosa Banakoro, I think that was. One of the Fijian interchanges that's come on for the men in red.
Whenever you're ready. Well, a warm welcome back then to what we've seen has been a terrific first half of action here in this final Inter-Services Rugby League game of the season. And, well, it's 10-all at half-time. If you've missed the first half, then you miss an absolute cracker. Must just catch up actually on a few messages here. Scott Sharp says, Nath Baker told me earlier that he really wanted to win the game, and Scott said it's been an amazing wedding present from his team. Message for you as well, Damien, from Sean Evans. Come on the RAF. Hello, Damo. Top man from Evo RAF Regiment. So there you go. Those are a few messages that we've had coming through on the YouTube, as the Royal Navy out on the pitch already. I don't think Daz Bamford wanted to hang around in the dressing room. We'll keep his lads hanging around in the dressing room, but the RAF have followed them out. I think it must have been probably about 2 minutes they've been out on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But that first half was just remarkable stuff, wasn't it? 10-all at half-time, and you know, just so even. It was just from one end to the other.
I think these first 20 minutes is going to be key now, John, and obviously your man Tilly's still on the bench. I think he'll probably get him back on after about 10 minutes, and like you say, he's a bit of a game changer, that fella.
He is. So off we go then for the start of the second half, as Ben Chambers gets us underway for the Royal Navy, kicking this half, of course, from left to right in their irregular blue and white hoops. The senior service, the RAF, in very dashing strip tonight of a mixture of light blue, dark blue.
That's taken from the original strip that they had, the blue bomber strip.
Indeed. Well, a bit of knowledge like that, Damien, doesn't go too far amiss as far as I'm concerned. Difficult to say which way this one's going to go, isn't it, really? I mean, I think the Navy will fancy them. Obviously, the boot really is on the RAF.
They'll carry though. They've got families front. Let's go. They need to play now quickly.
The RAF have got to score, win by 21 points to claim the title. It's a really tall order, but they can certainly have a big say in who wins this championship. The Navy know that a win or a draw and a loss by 16 points will be enough, but they don't want to lose this game. Of course they don't. But a good start for the Air Force in these early moments.
Yeah, completed set. The hand over there, and let's put some pressure on defence. Bradley still looks to be struggling though at number 6 out there. Could be as well to get it in the Royal Navy.
And they'll no doubt be targeting that.
I would have thought so.
There's Danny Dainty wearing number 2 tonight. Strong challenge coming in from Duffy, number 4 for them. It's the third tackle for the Navy. Oh, that's a lovely bit of work there. Brilliant play from them. I think that's Rowan Birch, isn't it, who's come on wearing number 17. And here for them is Butler.
Yeah.
Nice interchange of passing there. Once again, Dainty getting involved.
Yeah, Gaskell's got involved in this last 10-15 minutes from
on the
Navy.
6th tackle. Gaskell then with the kick, but that's safely into the hands of the RAF man, and the referee says
high tackle.
High tackle.
Yeah, Air Force.
So the Air Force then have a chance to
and a dust up.
Ben Taylor at the centre of it again. This Yorkshire air does him no harm, does it?
He's back in his promised land, isn't he? I'm looking forward to when he writes a poem about Armed Forces Rugby League and his involvement with it in the Navy and UCAF and things and inter-services. That'd be a great one.
As the moon rises behind that brand new stand on the far side, I think the moon is wondering which way this game is going to go. "43 minutes played, just 3 minutes into this second half here. Good charge forward again from Richardson. Oh, yeah. And I think that, again, the greasy ball, referee's going to bring that one back. That was, I think that was Roberts, wasn't it?
Yeah, just a lack of organisation though there. The ball came from dummy half. You've got 2 front rowers there, not really wanting to catch that ball. I'm expecting a half to be there, dictating what's going on. Wasn't the best of passes either.
No. Opportunity then with the scrum.
Good strong defence.
It's a drive through for the Navy again, and that was good play from them. Here's Taylor. Oof.
He just slipped
Yeah,
going at that.
I hope he's all right,
Going for
because
that collision.
that was a clash of heads, but
It looked worse than what it was.
yeah. Butler just onto the 20-metre line here. What can the Navy do? There's Brown, and he's eventually brought down, but he's made such a lot of space, a lot of ground.
Good time off there for an injury, I think.
Yeah, the man who's gone down is James Roberts. Been in the wars a little bit, hasn't he, over the last few minutes? But it's a real opportunity for the Navy then to take the initiative in this second half, driving for the line.
Hand over there, just short. Again, good place to hand the ball over though. Line speed here will be good. There'll be some whacking here. Takes some courage to take it out of there, John. You know you're going to get whacked.
They stole it well, didn't they? The Air Force. Really important for them, and they needed that.
Come on, referee, call out. They're all stood in front of him.
Ball's dropped. Referee says play on the Navy. Great defensive work though for the Air Force. They've made up for that. Again, the drive through, brilliant work.
You see, they need to number up better, the Royal Air Force. They had 5 defensive players on this short side where all the space was done to their right edge. They need to get the numbers right.
Yeah, it looks like Tilley's going to come back onto the pitch for the Navy very shortly. Driving for the line, brought to earth. Very, very close. And are they over? No, they're not. They're being held up right on the line here. Tremendous play from the Navy. This time...
He's held up, he's held up. Oh,
no, he isn't held up. And that is a really important try for the Navy.
Yep.
To put them 14-10 ahead. And I'm just trying to see in this dim light who it was who went over. It's number 10 for the Navy, so that's Dave Brown. And I believe that's his second try. Number 10 for the Navy, Dave Brown. Looks like he's gone over. Well, our ground announcer hasn't helped us there, but he went over, and the Navy back in front here by 14 points to 10. Ben Chambers then with the opportunity to clear with this kick. So it was great work from the Navy, just sort of watching the replay here. They really put their game together, didn't they? And the pressure on the line then. There it is. And the referee had no doubt it was a try. So can Chambers then make this count with the extra 2 points? With the kick, and he certainly can. So the Navy take a 16-10 lead. Well, they certainly came out, as I say, they came out a couple of minutes before the RAF, didn't they, Damien, at the start of the second half. They obviously meant business, and don't think we haven't seen the RAF really make any sort of impression on the Navy.
No impact in the second half just yet.
So what can they do now then? Here's Kieran Prescott with the kick. Disappointing one for him. And once again, Ben Chambers will bring it forward. Just on the 30-metre line.
He'll go now, he'll go.
Yeah.
There you go. He's off.
Oh, and he's trying to keep his feet, he's got his trainers on, but he's still going. Incredible power from the hooker for the Navy. Often an acting halfback as well. Again, the Navy driving through. It looks like Ben Miller with the skull cap on. Once again, Brown falls to earth. Here's Tilley. He puts the kick up. And underneath it, very well, was Bradley, wasn't it? Liam Bradley was underneath it.
Prescott, I think.
Oh, it was Prescott, yeah.
Yeah, good positioning from the fullback.
Cruncher of a tackle.
Good defence.
Yeah, and then again, that is Brodie Butler getting in there. Gosh, the work these guys are putting through out tonight is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Again, great work from Richardson. And here's Roberts. Richardson then with the kick. That'll be collected though. Well collected by Kinney.
And here's the difference now, John. They've collected the kick. The first tackle has been made in what we call good ball, so the Royal Navy back on the front foot.
Yeah, it's great intelligent play from them. Till even almost the pass made before he even reached him, but he's still going. He's got it. Here's Tilly again. Navy just going through their set at the moment. You just feel they've got that bit of confidence in their play.
Yeah, I think so. Because the rugby's been played in the area where they want to play it. Which is
Danny Dainty now inside the 20 metres. Here they go once more. Yeah. Driven into touch though. Great tackle. And that was a really important challenge from the Air Force.
Confidence defensively.
So we played 11.5 minutes of this second half. The Navy have the lead by 6 points. They lead 16-10. 10 all at half-time in a pulsating first half. But the Navy very much on top so far in this second period. Air Force, though, with Will Lamont, scorer of their first try for the RAF early on in the game. In his debut.
In his boots.
They're all wearing trainers, I think, aren't they, Damo?
Good shot.
Yeah, it's a nice play, though. Lovely interpassing. The ball handling tonight from both teams, I think, has been absolutely superb. Good evening to Chris Giles. Our Chris Giles is watching. One of our intrepid cameramen. Got Lewis and Kath on cameras tonight, by the way. Kath, who did the commentary, of course, earlier on for the women's game. We did our own interchange here at BFBS today. Oh. The tension's running a little bit high. And a little bit of a...
Yeah, there's no...
Yeah, Ben Miller just getting involved there when he probably didn't need to.
Yeah, high shot, referee give it. There's no need to run in and get involved there.
Referee just having a word with his touch judge, with Dan Walker. Steve Race and Dan Walker just having a chat with each other. I think there might be a few words to be had. Ben Taylor is being brought over, the Royal Navy captain, and also Ben Miller.
Yeah, so Bradley's gone off then, so that injury he sustained in the first half has obviously taken its toll and he's been replaced, is Bradley.
A few words being had here. We just want to keep this to rugby. Good words. Matty Gaskell being spoken to as well, but the Navy are the team with the penalty. So Ben Chambers will kick for plenty of ground, and he's done well with that. Right on the 30-metre line, with Tilly and Butler. Navy threatening another try here.
Yep.
Looking good for it as well. It's a great drive through again from Dave Brown, who's looked really good in this second half. Here's Tilly. Oh, and it's dropped and collected on the floor by
Prescott.
Yeah, Prescott did really well there. He just picked it up very calmly, really, sort of knotted his way through a couple of challenges. It's so tense out there, so much at stake. This has been so competitive, this final match of the championship here. The Navy and the RAF going at it as they've always done for the past 30 years or so.
Richardson down injured there. Quite a novel push in the scrum from the Royal Navy.
Yeah. Good evening to Justin Coleman, UCAF Rugby Union head coach. Hope you're well, Justin. Probably down at somewhere in Buckinghamshire this evening, watching the game. Obviously keeping a very close eye, I'm sure, on Ben Chambers, who has been putting in a real shift at fullback tonight for the Royal Navy. And obviously with the Games of Remembrance coming up as well in November for both the men and the women in Rugby Union. The men going out to Poland, the women will be playing at Gloucester. Those are games again we're hoping to bring you live here on Forces News, YouTube and Facebook. There's Mellor, slippery customer. He looks like he could work his way through quite a lot, the 6 tackles. Chambers underneath it, and he'll now make the ground. Great tackle for the Air Force from Will Lamont. It's just such a tough battle, isn't it?
Oh, it's wiped the tackle count clean there. It's another set for the Royal Navy.
That was a high tackle, it looked to me. I don't think they're very happy again with Ben Mellor, who, you know, that looked very high to me. And words are being said. The Navy do have the penalty.
Yeah, the penalty count's creeping up against the Air Force. It's five penalties for the Royal Navy against the Air Force's 3, so they need to get back onto track and control the discipline and get back in this game. It's 16-10, it's game on.
And so that 10 metres made instead of the kick for goal, as we've explained, because of the building of the new stand. Charge through from...
There's been no lack of commitment from both sides.
No, absolutely not.
Defensively and offensively.
Here's James Tilley again. Yeah, it's not... Ball went forward, didn't it?
No,
the referee says no.
Knock on, play on. 0 tackle.
And Slaney again mops up the damage. He scored the second try for the Air Force right at the end of that first half to level it up at 10-all. And now it has boiled over, unfortunately. I think this has been sort of coming, hasn't it? There's a lot of tension out there, and the referee there's a couple of fist fights breaking out. Just getting it totally out of control.
No, they need to sort the discipline out. This is not what we want to see into Forces football.
We do not need this. And the referee's got a lot of sorting out to do here.
That's it's not what we want to see. It's a tough enough sport, is rugby league, without that carry on.
Yeah, we don't need it. And while the referee sorts that out, a few more mentions. Andrew Lockley were on the march with Darren Bamford's army, he says. And Kingo Al says the RAF seem a bit tired. Well, that would not prove to be the point a few seconds ago. But things are now being sorted. The 3 officials are now in conversation with each other, just deciding what sparked it all off.
It was Ben Taylor's tackle on Prescott, but I don't think it was that bad, to be honest. It just looked worse. He ragged him to the floor, and then it just kicked off from the back of that. Yeah. And then you see that.
Yeah. No, it was.
So I actually sit on the UCAF disciplinary, and I think I could be busy on Monday.
Well, no doubt these pictures will find their way there.
Absolutely.
And the trouble is, there's no hiding place these days, is there?
No, and nor should
quite rightly.
And nor should we. He's gone. He sent the fullback off.
There's a red card,
and that's for retaliation. That was 25-20.
Well, that's.
He's probably the most dynamic player as well for the Royal.
Yeah, and a red card as well for, it looks like,
Ben Taylor. Yeah, the captain's gone.
Well, and that is not what we wanted to see. So Ben Taylor gets his marching orders. 2. So we're down to 12 aside, and 2 really important players
absolutely
have left the field, and they can't really have any complaints, to be fair.
I'm just hoping.
Is it over?
So, no, well, I'm just hoping they sort that out down there, because they need to both go in their own changing rooms and get.
Yeah, good one.
I hope they can maybe buy each other a pint at the end, but it's not good. There's still conversations going on here.
That's a bit of Royal Air Force penalty, I'm sure.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, they get the penalty.
Yep. Well,
so
a bit more space on the pitch now, John.
We've had a bit of everything, haven't we, tonight? We really have. And that one is heading for our camera gantry.
Oh, this is going to be a tough carry now. Who's going to take this ball up? Who's got it in the heart now to take it? Who's courageous, one of the Air Force troopers? Look at the Navy. Coiled springs to get off this line. You watch Broadley, but you'll hear.
Fending off. It's a great play from Ben Miller.
It is. It's going to be tough for the referee now. He needs to keep on top of this game.
Yeah.
It's ready to boil over.
Well, I hope we don't lose any more players. We just don't need that. I mean, you can't criticise the passion that both of these teams are using.
It's controlled aggression.
Yeah.
We're meant to be disciplined people, and hey, John, I've played it. It's tough, but you've got to maintain your discipline. Good forward pass there.
And the Navy have been given the benefit on that one. It's been called. And they'll get the scrum. Chris Pompey Guest says, "Come on, the Navy." Andrew Kuchar is watching. Andy, good evening to you. No doubt with half an eye on the football next week as well, the Remembrance football with the Bundeswehr down in Aldershot. That's next Thursday, live on Forces News, Facebook and YouTube. But we've got Rugby League still in action here. And Dave Brown, who's played a really important role for them. Look at James Tilley here. It takes, what, 4 to get him down on the floor. Hopefully things are settling down a bit now.
The story of his second half, though, is, John, that we are looking to our right, the majority of it, and then that's the story now.
I can't remember looking to the left, to be honest.
Exactly. So while the Air Force have had maybe 7 or 8 sets already, but it's in the wrong area.
And Tilly, lovely grubber kick, and was he taken out? But Ben Chambers is over for the try again. Another try for Ben Chambers. That's his 5th try of the season in the inter-services. He picked up the loose and he collected it and went over for another try for the Navy. Well, is that the try that is going to seal the Inter-Services Championship for 2023 for the Royal Navy? Get my years right.
Yeah, I would think so now. I would think so.
Well,
I'm not too sure about Gordon, the sport, the fans there, whether that was a wide thing, but yeah, fair play to him. I think he's played well, that fullback.
Yeah, well, Ben Chambers, he's had a terrific season, and He's already scored 1 try tonight. He got a hat-trick in Portsmouth against the Army, and he is also kicking extremely well. He missed that, what looked to be quite an easy conversion, but he's scored 2 much more difficult ones. And this looks like it could be in Chambers' range here. As I say, I did speak to him before the game. He says, I'll get another hat-trick tonight. So, you know,
well,
you wouldn't bet against him at the moment.
Yeah.
But the Navy now have a 10-point lead here, 20 points to 10. That could go up to 22-10 in the next few moments. And that is absolutely dead straight from Ben Chambers, who scores the goal, which takes them to 22 points to 10. Such confidence. But it was a really well taken, wasn't he? Just
well, to be honest, yeah, Gaskell, crafty kick that, because you know, obviously Prescott's just gone off. The Royal Air Force full back. They've got no one sweeping up the back there, and the competition was with Mellor, a prop forward. So yeah,
no competition really.
No.
And how many times have we seen that this evening, where it's the kick that's, you know, the end of the set of 6?
Yeah, and that's smart. That's smart play.
Yeah.
Let's see what kind of character now the Air Force team are. You know, are we going to capitulate, or are we going to get back in this game?
Well, I can't see them capitulating, but you know, the next score for them is going to be absolutely vital, isn't it? Or the next score in this match is going to be absolutely vital.
Yeah. And it's no surprises that the Navy have just scored 10 points while Tilly's been on the pitch.
Yeah. Again, brilliant driving through from the Navy. And it's that man again, Brodie Butler, who presumably is now taken on the captaincy, with his captain being told to leave the field. Look at Chambers again, chasing this one. Oh, so close to getting it. That was a really important challenge then from the Navy's, from the RAF's James Peach, as they try to bring it clear. No let-up in this game.
Good carry.
Yeah, Adam Middleton driving it through.
Oh, he's smart, he's Tilly. He's always got his hand in somewhere, or he's holding him down somewhere else. He's a smart footballer.
I don't think there's any doubt that the RAF are certainly missing Liam Bradley, aren't they? They're missing.
They're missing him, and they'll miss the other one now with Prescott gone off. He's a great talent for them. So who's going to step up? That's the question. What next? And half the team's offside. That's absolutely.
Well, you're not really getting annoyed, are you, Damon?
I'm not. No, I'm
just frustrating, really. You know, and you can obviously see it from this sort of angle.
Yeah, no, it was an objective comment, John. That's better. Good defence.
Yeah, is it just a case now maybe of damage limitation as we head into the latter stages? 65 minutes played here, so the last 15 minutes of this game. The last quarter. The Navy looking to retain that Inter-Services Championship. It was so precious to them last season. Melee going on of players. Tilly again. He finds Brown. Nice interpassing.
Well to get the ball away there.
Up goes the challenge again. Chambers, is he underneath it? The referee.
Oh, it's good penalty.
He has given a penalty.
Challenging the player in the air. Penalty. So interestingly enough, we're on 5 penalties apiece now across the game.
I mean, I don't think there was no malice intended there. They were just going for the ball, weren't they?
Yeah, but it's one of those, isn't it? No malice, but seems to be struggling.
Not good to see a player down like that.
looking at the body language of the Royal Navy now, I think they know it's in their hands now. They just complete high and play steady football. And the Inter-Service Championships there, so the second year winning, I believe.
Yep. After a 5-year wait, they say good things come like London buses, all at once. But that the Navy have set their stall out so well this season.
Yeah.
I mean, I go back to that amazing first half performance they had against the Army. I mean, to score 6 tries against the Army in
do you know what, John?
Minutes.
I see all the participation numbers because we register on it on software what we call LeagueNet, and out of the 3 services, they have the lowest playing numbers of all 3 services. So to perform so well in the inter-services is a reflection of the quality they've got, but actually the coaching staff as well.
Yep.
But
and I know that there were at least 4 players, undrafted. Obviously when you've got the carriers now, you've got Queen Elizabeth and Prince of Wales. That takes a lot of staffing.
Yeah.
And if those players can't be released to play, well, it relies then on these members of the Banda Brothers. And I'm sure that if you're watching on Royal Navy ships tonight, you're going to be pretty proud of these boys. And hopefully you were pretty proud of the Banda sisters earlier on, although losing by 24 points to 14, they produce terrific second half performance to score 3 tries. That was earlier. And the Navy Academy team as well, 30 points to 10 win over the Air Force earlier on. So it's turned into a pretty good day so far for Royal Navy Rugby, but we're not over yet. We still have nearly a quarter of an hour to play here. Kick goes up. Ben Chambers will be underneath it.
Different rules. He jumped from the field of play and caught the ball in the in goal. In Rugby Union, that might have been a tap on the 20, I'm not too sure, but in Rugby League it's not.
It's not. I think he gets the difference between the 2 codes pretty well, doesn't he?
Certainly does with the ball in his hand.
I think Dave Brown's had a terrific game for the Navy, but the ball's lost. Air Force have won it back. And here's Barker. Great bit of play from him.
Scoring this set and it'll be game on, I'll tell you. Reset as well. Reset, another set.
Well, this is really the first time the Air Force have had any sort of joy in the Navy half of the field. So they'll be really keen to try and make the most of it. Goes to grounders, Mackinson. There's Ben Mellor.
Look at all that space over there, 4 defenders on that 60 metres.
What can the Air Force do here? That ball goes out wide and it's going to be a try. It is going to be another try for the RAF, and again it's Nick Slaney who's in. It was really well worked try for the Air Force. The first time they've been anywhere near the Navy half, and they get the try.
Yeah, it was smart, and like I said, there's less defenders in that defensive line there. The young scrum half there spotted that. Great face ball, hit the winger, took his try well, and listen, this last 10 minutes is going to be a game on now. The Royal Air Force can still win this game.
Well, it's really important now that they get the kicking boots on as well, and it's Khan Lees who is going to be taking this, which could bring them back to 22-16.
Of course, if it is a drawn game at the end of this, they will play a golden point until we have a winner today.
Well, yep.
A Dogwatch trophy.
Yep, this is the Dogwatch trophy, of course, yeah. Which has its origins somewhere on a Royal Navy ship many, many years ago.
Yep, I can't explain that one,
I think it's something to do with one of the best watches that you have on a ship. Maybe someone can correct us on that, or the Dogwatch trophy. I know that if Keith Humpleby were nearby, he would put me right straight away. But that's an excellent kick. Well done to Khan Lees. So we really do have a game in our hands now, 22-16.
10 minutes to go, the referee's just said, so game on.
Yep. 22-16 is the score.
Possession-wise, they're both pretty equal. The Royal Navy's had 12 sets compared to the Royal Air Force 13. And the Air Force are completing higher. However, like we just said, it's in the wrong area of the pitch.
Said like a true airman. But this will really spur the Air Force on then. And we did see this actually when the Navy played the Army. The Army came right back into it. There's a lovely charge forward again.
James Peach.
Yeah, he's had a great game actually for them.
He's a big boy actually. He's big unit for a winger. I think Khan Leeds has stepped up since Bradley's gone off. He's playing quite well, taking on more responsibility.
There were fewer players on the pitch. Mellor driving through again. He's like a bulldog, isn't he? He really is.
I have to be careful what I say, John.
Air Force, though, with Nath Barker, they've certainly got a spring in their step at the moment because they know another try and this could really put the cat among the pigeons here. Well taken for the Navy by James Teixeira.
Force an error here.
Here's Chambers trying to dance his way through a pile of tackles. Only ends up being brought to ground by Slaney.
So the back three here for the Royal Navy need to get involved. The wingers and the fullback and maybe the centres, get them out of yardage, give the forwards, the middles a breather.
There's Kinney doing well for the Navy. Here they go again. Halfway through their set of 6 tackles. That's a
good tackle, good defence, that good strong run by Butler. Say he's like as tough as a coffin nail, that one.
Yeah. Ball goes forward though, only as far then as Slaney. Got a couple of tries. He'll be looking for his hat-trick.
This is where they need to dig in. We've got a lot of guys walking around. They need to find some breath from somewhere. Oh, good shot, good tackle. Sounded that from here, John.
Yes, again, there have been several of those, haven't there?
Fantastic. This is what inter-services is all about.
Yeah, it's been a terrific game. I mean, obviously we had that the melee, a couple of players seeing red, 2 important players being sent off for either side. Down to 12 aside here. Potter. Ball still. Has it gone out of play? It has.
It'll be interesting to see which way this goes.
Okay.
Bit of brotherly love there being shown by the 2 number 10, Slaney for the RAF and Dave Brown for the Navy. Still not quite sure which way this one's going.
Navy ball.
That'd be great, thanks.
Hand over.
I think it's 22-16, but let Kieran confirm.
Jake Stark says, game on, come on, lads. Kingo. Al says, superb kick and chase. That must be something wrong, he says, as an Army bloke supporting the Navy. There you go. Thanks to Jamie Doig as well, enjoying our coverage tonight. Back home in Leicestershire.
Shouldn't be concentrating on getting the Leicester kit sorted.
$22 points to 16 the score.
He's off for his action.
Chambers again with the run. Oh, and it's
yeah, good weighted kick though. They get the ball back here from the dropout. It's good. It's after that 3rd try, what he said to you.
He's still got his Brittany tan as well, I have to say.
Thought we were there to play rugby union. Come on,
jealous.
It was pretty hot out there actually for a couple of the games. The temperature heading into the 30s and very high 20s for some of the matches.
Yeah, it's tough conditions.
It was. Kinney once again, good work from him. Navy threatening. Another try here would surely seal it for them.
Oh, good defence. Oh, he's lost the ball as well.
Ball lost.
Yes. Oh, there you go.
And what's the referee given here?
He's lost the ball. That's a scrum down. Royal Air Force ball, and they need to get a shift on. And that's some urgency now.
We are close. Inter-Services Championship is surely now heading to the Royal Navy, but the Dog Watch Trophy, as you say, Damien, is up there for grabs still. And
remember to release Lewis when you can.
Kilner's back.
Just 6 points in it.
Oh, that's a great challenge. He was just falling down as well. Well committed.
Crunching tackles. Here's Richardson.
It just lifts not only your players, but the crowd getting back with you. It's great.
Oof. Nice stuff from the Air Force again with Josh Caldwell. Another of the interchanges has come on. And that's a brilliant drive through. Adam Middleton. Air Force really mounting some pressure here.
Yeah, he's gone 6 again then, so they need to build this pressure. Don't panic.
Richardson and Lees will take it.
Get to the 50 to then pull the trigger.
Mello once again in the thick of it. What can the Air Force do here? That's really nice interplay from them, isn't it?
Yep.
With Adam Potter going through.
He needs to go now.
Navy defence holding firm, but what can the Air Force do? Ball goes out wide onto the right-hand side. This is lovely play from them.
Good defence.
And great defence from the Navy as well to stop them. There's some lovely rugby here, Damien.
Yeah, no,
brilliant rugby.
Very expansive. That's a good strong carry there from Kilner.
Yeah, he's still going.
Here we go now. We've got to have a go.
They're running out of tackles. Kilner again just goes for it, and so the Navy will get that ball back.
Yeah, but look where they're getting it back. And he needs to stop putting his hand up. It's only cramp.
Well, there is a coach is on the pitch as well. It looks like cramp, does it?
Yeah, I mean, that's just cramp. I don't understand why the referee didn't just play on there.
Tighter?
Head injuries, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, head knocks, anything.
But cramp is different.
But cramp's different. That's just a lack of fitness. So, had a breather.
Game management.
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't Tilly because he's an old head, isn't he? he's all those little tricks in the book.
So the Navy on their own line.
The Air Force need to try and force an error here, get the ball back. Put the pressure on defensively.
And Navy bringing it away well too. Again with Brodie Butler.
Yeah, he moved to the other side there, hasn't he? He's gone down the left-hand side there. It's 4 tackles.
That's Brown again.
Keep working, put the pressure on. They might see another kick out of yardage there. Down your man Chambers, maybe. That's
There's a good kick forward then, out of play it goes.
Okay.
Great intelligent play from James Tilley there, just making all that ground. We're now into the extra time here. The Navy 22, RAF 16.
So interestingly enough now, at this point in game, both sides have had 15 sets with the ball, and the Royal Air Force have completed just that little bit higher. However,
the Royal Navy.
Where it mattered.
Absolutely, they've capitalised on it.
They've scored, what, 2 second-half tries to the 1 from the...
This could go right down to the wire, though, if the Royal Air Force score here.
And that is the final whistle.
Well done. Yeah, fair play.
And it's the celebrations are as big here now as they were at Odsal Stadium 12 months ago, because the Royal Navy have done the double once again. They've beaten the Army and the Royal Air Force in this Inter-Services Championship, and that is terrific stuff from them. But a brilliant match, thoroughly enjoyable.
Oh, well committed, two sides there, went at it toe to toe, and congratulations to the Royal Navy. That second half, like I say, we were watching most of the game to our right hand side. You know, Chambers did well at full-back. I think Tilly again directing play, but there's some real commitment from both teams there. And do you know what, John? Congratulations to Darren Bamford, in his first Inter-Services head coach, being victorious. He's beat both the Army and the Royal Air Force, and you know, well-deserved champs.
Yeah, they certainly have deserved it. But what a terrific performance from the Air Force. I mean, they came back in this second half. You know, they not had a look in, but then suddenly they looked threatening every time they went forward.
They did. You know, the young scrum half, Khan Lees, he stood up, but the threat when they're in good ball is Prescott. You know, he's a very elusive player. And of course, for the last 15-20 minutes they haven't played with him, so that punch, that difference, you know, the point of difference, Prescott is one of those, and obviously they'll play without him.
Well, Ben Taylor has come back out onto the pitch. I think both the players are now on the pitch, but I think we are going to be able to talk, I think, in a moment to Brodie Butler, the vice captain of the Royal Navy. So we're just waiting now to make sure that we can actually hear from one of the victorious players. So Ben Taylor apparently will be able to talk to us. Yeah, Ben Taylor will be able to talk to us, despite the fact that he was sent from the field along with Kieran Prescott, the Royal Air Force fullback. A couple of trophies there, just sitting in the middle of the pitch at the moment, waiting to be presented. And that Inter-Services trophy, well, it's incredibly proud moment, isn't it, for anyone?
Absolutely, that's what the season's all about. It's all about culminating and finishing on top at this time of the season, and yeah, it's a great achievement.
And you made the really good point earlier, Damien, as well, about the Navy, obviously with the fewest number of players to choose from in all the Inter-Services teams, and you know, so much has got to go down to Daz Bamford, hasn't it?
Yeah,
so
definitely. But you know, he's a rugby league fellow. He's Darren Bamford, and you know, he knows what he's doing. And you know, coaching is different than playing. You know, so to win the service at your first attempt, you know, but Steve Lockton left him in a good place last year.
He did.
So,
he certainly did. And we arrived here, just about 11 o'clock this morning to set everything up for the live coverage today. He was already here.
Yes.
Daz Bamford was already here. A lot of the players were already here. You know, I mean, quite often, you know, in the past, when the match has been due to kick off at 6:30 in the evening, you know, the players are going to arrive 2 hours before kick-off. Absolutely,
yeah, you didn't get ready about 2 hours before kick-off, and it can be a long day, though, you know, hanging about.
And when you've got 3 matches as well, you know, to fit into the space of one day. But where was this match won for the Navy then? Because you know, it was so close at half time.
It was. For me, it was that first 20 in the second half. I said to you, I think he'll bring Tilly on pretty sharpish, and he did. It was about 6 minutes in. He brought Tilly on, and then again they completed the sets and making the Royal Air Force defend on their own line, which, you know, scrambling defence, it's difficult, you know. So that for me, the first 20 minutes, Tilly coming on, he's a smart footballer, and I think your man Chambers did well as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Air Force, I mean, they're going to go away. They'll lick their wounds, of course. No one likes to, you know, take the wooden spoon, but they've played their part tonight in a terrific game of rugby.
Oh, fully committed. They can hold their heads up high. It was a great game. You know, we're stood here, we're listening to some of the collisions, what's happening 50, 60 metres away. That's how tough these boys are on both sides.
Yeah. And we did see things spill over, didn't we, you know, in the second half. It doesn't surprise me. This is such a high contact sport, isn't it? You know,
yeah,
it doesn't surprise me.
It's a fine line, you know. I've been involved when it's gone like that, when we played down in Portsmouth or the Army at Aldershot, and you know, when I've been captain in the Air Force, and it's not something you want to see. Our game deserves better than that, but it is a fine line, and the aggression, and it's border on, you know, a really. What's the word I'm looking for?
Well, it's a contact sport, you know,
and it's gladiatorial. That's the word.
It's gladiatorial.
It is,
and it requires a discipline for it not to spill over. But inevitably, you're going to get high tackles. Yeah. Inevitably, you're going to get players think that shouldn't happen. Yeah. And when the tension is so high, it is not surprising it spills over.
It's no excuse, but I can understand it. Having played at that level, it is difficult.
But players know that if they transgress, then it will cause, you know, them be removed from the pitch.
Well, both of those players now, there'll be bans from them. Like I say, we're doing the discipline next week with at UCAF level, and there'll be bans coming, because in this day and age you cannot be throwing fists and getting sent off for fighting in any form of rugby.
These are great scenes, obviously, down on the pitch there with the celebrations. It means so much to these players. And I do know that, you know, last year, 12 months ago, it was a massive sigh of relief, as much as anything else, from the Navy to have finally broken that duck of, you know, for 5 years is a long time to go without winning this title, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think they're just doing the awards now.
Yeah, we'll stand by for the presentations.
Come on home, girls. Come on home. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll move on to the presentation after our fantastic Rugby League. I think first of all, we need to give the players who are absolutely outstanding effort a round of applause for their efforts in that game. This is decided by the National Operations Manager for NGK competition, who will also present the award, and obviously the proud sponsor of the RAF Rugby League. The man of the match is number 9, James Silly. Can I have the captain of the Royal Navy to come forward and collect the Dogwatch Trophy from Wingman There's another one yet, boys. Have you got the flag? It's in the changing room. Do you want me to get it? The player of the tournament. So this is the player of the tournament, the Scott Stevenson Award. So, just to explain the reason behind the name, Scott Stevenson Trophy. SAC tech Scott Stevenson sadly lost his life after a freak accident during the RAF versus the Army First 13 Inter-Services match in 2019. Scott was a consistent and essential player for the first 13 throughout his RAF career, competing at the highest standards for both the RAF and for the UK Armed Forces Rugby League. His ability to keep defences guessing whilst making hits, even the best props would win sacks, was only improved by the smile on his face throughout every game they played. Adding his name to the Player of the Tournament trophy for the Inter-Services Rugby League is a small, fitting tribute to Scott, who will forever be missed and never forgotten by the RAF Rugby League and the UK Armed Forces Rugby League. To present the trophy, we have Scott's parents, Donald and Steve Stevenson, to the winner and player of the tournament is number 9 for the Royal Navy, James Hill.
None of the bitches.
The Inter-Service Champions 2023. Can I ask the captain of the Royal Navy to come forward and collect the trophy?
Here we go, folks. Let me greet everyone. Thank you very much.
Get a point to your boys! Oh, Tilly, give me one of them, please, mate.
Just to add the icing on the cake as they just go off to have their picture taken. We'll just stay with them because I think it's really important to get the reaction. And a lovely moment really for Scott Stevenson's family, Damon, to be here and to present that trophy.
Yeah, definitely. It's very an emotional time, inter-service time. I was down in Aldershot when Scott passed, and his mum and dad they come to the inter-service every year since, and they are an integral part of the the Armed Forces Rugby League family now.
Yeah, we were actually live that night as well when it happened. It was such a terrible tragedy. And I don't think anyone who was there will ever forget that moment. And I do remember the tributes that were played. We were out in Japan actually for the IDRC, and the UCAF rugby union team and the Australians all came together for a moment. When obviously we heard the terrible news about Scott. But he'll be proud of this. He'll be proud of a trophy. I know he won't be particularly happy that the Navy have won, but he would be pretty proud that there's a trophy in his honour to celebrate the player of the tournament.
Absolutely.
So hopefully Ben Taylor will be ready to talk to us very, very shortly. And I think he is now ready to talk to us very, very shortly. Kira is down there with the microphone, and hopefully she is now going to be talking to the celebrating captain, Ben Taylor.
So we are here with Navy captain Ben Taylor. Congratulations on your win today and your win in the overall tournament.
Yeah, thanks very much. There's not many teams that's managed to do it back to back as well. We're obviously champions last year as well. It's a win that means a lot. This is my hometown. I'm a Wakefield lad, so to come here, we've also had a couple of lads who've lost family members this week. And to all come together, we've not played particularly well today. To all come together and get a win for them, it meant a lot. Yeah.
You say you've not played particularly well, but from what we could see, there was a lot of heart in that. We had you talking to the team at the end saying how much of a family you were. So what does this mean to this particular team this year?
Yeah, well, that's it. It's something that's probably overlooked is the fact that obviously there's only 30,000 people in Royal Navy. There's 80,000 in Army. And we're coming from a less rugby league playing demographic. We're a lot on South Coast. So to do what we've done back to back with this group who's fairly new the past couple of years, coming together like they have, yeah, it makes me very proud to captain them like.
Let's talk a little bit about the overall play today. So the first half was obviously super close. What was kind of your chat at half time? Because you came in really, really strong, and that's really what separated you, that gap that you started at the beginning of the second half, sorry.
Yeah, we thought we played pretty poor, to be honest, in the first half. We gave them a lot of ball. We didn't finish the sets very well, so all we wanted to do was try and start doing simple things right. We managed that for a short while, and then I think we got a little bit excited and let them back into it. But yeah, like I said, we ground that win out, and that wasn't anything today.
And finally, let's talk a little bit about your player of the match and the player of the tournament, James Tilley. What kind of was his role in bringing you guys to victory this year? Yeah,
he's a linchpin. He's obviously a hooker, so he's a massively experienced player. He's played a lot of Championship League, One Rugby League. He's actually just come back from a 6-month deployment underwater, so he's not in best nick. So when he's at full fitness, he would have absolutely torn it up. He's still won both them awards at 60%. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to you today and for your.
Thanks again. Nice one. Cheers. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Nice one. Cheers, pal.
Ben Taylor then with his celebratory thoughts on a terrific victory for the Royal Navy tonight, winning the Inter-Services Championship again, retaining that title they won last year, and well, an end to this season's Inter-Services Rugby League Championship. Hope you enjoyed the coverage that we've been able to bring you of all 6 of the games involving the Navy, Army, Air Force men and women. My huge thanks to Damien Clayton, who's been with us again tonight. Damo, brilliant to have you alongside, and your expert thoughts and obviously your comments on the game. I know obviously from an RAF point of view, not the happiest of nights for you, but from a rugby league point of view, from a Forces rugby league point of view, terrific night and terrific competition.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to watch. I watched the games last week as well, so 3 good games within the service football. Royal Navy deservedly won, the men's championship, and it's been my pleasure, John.
Thank you very much indeed, Damo. Just before we sign off, just to remind you that we have more live military sports action this coming Thursday. We'll be in Aldershot Town FC for 2 matches celebrating. It's the Remembrance Games involving the UK Armed Forces football teams taking on the Bundeswehr, that's men's and women's games. So please join us if you can for our next live coverage. But from me, John Nice, and on behalf of all the team here in this evening at Bellevue in Wakefield, it's a very good night, and thank you very much indeed for watching.